Okay, so what if I told you that your favorite songs, I'm talking everything from pop to rock to hip hop, all have a secret ancestor, a sound that's like 100 years old and it's hiding in their DNA? Well, today, we're going to go find it. Let's do this. Seriously, think about that one song you've had on repeat all week. You know the one. What if I told you that song has a direct connection to music made over a century ago? Sounds kind of crazy, right? But stick with me. To figure this out, we have to jump in a time machine. Our story starts way, way back in the deep south of the United States, a world away from your Spotify playlist. This is where you find something called the Delta Blues. Just imagine, it's you're working in the fields all day, and your music is how you tell your story. It's how you talk about your struggles, your hopes, everything. It was usually just one person, a single voice, and an acoustic guitar. But man, it was powerful stuff. Now, this music wasn't just made up on the spot. It had a sort of secret formula, a musical blueprint that made it instantly recognizable. And the most important piece of that formula is what's called the 12-bar blues. It's this simple, repeating chord pattern that's basically the foundation for almost every blues song ever. And the lyrics? They had a formula too. It was kind of like a viral TikTok challenge format, you know? Step 1, you state your problem or how you're feeling. Step 2, you repeat that exact same line just to make sure everyone heard you. And then step 3, you hit them with the final line that explains it all. Simple, direct, and it just works. But here's where the story takes a huge turn. This music didn't just stay put in the South. No, it was about to go on a massive road trip. And that's when things got really interesting. So you have this huge movement of people called the Great Migration. Millions of folks headed north to big cities like Chicago, hoping for a better life. But when the musicians got there, they ran into a big problem. Their quiet, acoustic country music, you just couldn't hear it over the noise of the city. So they had to adapt. They had to level up. This meant swapping out those quiet acoustic guitars for loud, screaming electric ones. And instead of playing by themselves, they formed full bands. They basically created a whole new sound that was tough, loud, and electric, perfect for the city. This was their new loadout. You've got the electric guitar as the main star. You've got drums and a bass guitar laying down a heavy beat you can feel in your chest. They even plugged harmonicas into amplifiers, which created this amazing wailing sound they called the blues harp. It was a total sonic revolution. So this new electric sound wasn't just a new type of music, it was a whole scene. And like any great scene, it had its own superstars, its own legends of the game. And if we're talking about leaderboards, the undisputed #1, the final boss of Chicago blues, was a guy you absolutely have to know, Muddy Waters. This dude was incredible. He took that raw country sound he grew up with in Mississippi, plugged it into an amplifier, and basically invented a whole new language for the electric guitar. His influence was so massive that years later, a young band in England heard his song Rolling Stone and decided to name their band after it. You might have heard of them, the Rolling Stones? Yeah, that's him. But hey, every champ needs a rival, right? And for Muddy Waters, that rival was the one and only Howlin' Wolf. This guy was an absolute force of nature. He had this deep, growling voice that sounded like nothing else, and his energy on stage was off the charts. You can honestly think of their rivalry as like the original streamer beef. They were always trying to one-up each other, pushing the music to get louder, tougher, and more intense. But what if I told you that behind these two giants, there was a secret weapon? A kind of master strategist pulling the strings. Well, that was Willie Dixon. He was the genius songwriter who actually wrote some of their biggest and most famous hits. And pretty much all these legends recorded at one legendary place, Chess Records. Think of it like a legendary indie game studio that just had a knack for finding the most amazing artists before they blew up. Chess Records is the one that captured that raw electric sound and sent it out to the rest of the world. Right, so this sound was way too big to stay in just one city. It was about to go viral and spark a chain reaction that would literally change music forever. So here's how the chain reaction worked. In the 50s, the first rock and roll artists basically just took the Chicago blues sound and sped it up. Then, in the 60s, bands in Britain, like the Rolling Stones, found these old records, put their own spin on them, and sold that sound back to the entire world as rock music. See? The DNA was spreading everywhere. Okay, so that's the history lesson. But why does any of this actually matter to you right now? Well, believe it or not, this story is far from over. The blues is still very much alive. You just have to know where to look.
You can find it at huge festivals all over the world. You can still hear it live in little clubs in Chicago tonight, and yeah, you can find it on your phone. There's a whole new generation of musicians online discovering these classic recordings and making them their own. It's proof that this sound is totally timeless.
So, if you remember one thing from all of this, make it this. That loud, tough, electric sound that was born in the noisy clubs of Chicago, it became the blueprint for so much of the music we listen to today. It's the foundation of rock, pop, and yeah, even hip-hop. So now, I'm going to give you a mission. The next time you put on your headphones, I want you to listen closer. Listen for that repeating pattern, that soulful guitar, that raw emotion. Can you hear it? Can you hear that 100-year-old secret? Can you hear the blues hiding in its DNA? Go check it out.